You know what blows my mind? Studies show it takes an average of 480 hours to achieve basic fluency in a new language. That's like watching every episode of Friends 20 times over. Today, we're exploring how the fundamental building blocks of language learning shape our ability to connect across cultures.
That's such an interesting way to quantify it. And what fascinates me is how universal these early learning patterns are, regardless of which language you're studying.
Well, looking at the research, there's this fascinating concept called the critical period hypothesis that suggests our brains are actually wired to acquire language in a specific sequence, starting with basic greetings and moving toward more complex structures. The way they structured this lesson really aligns with that research, beginning with those essential connection points like hello and goodbye, before building up to more sophisticated concepts. And you know what's particularly interesting? Studies from the Journal of Memory and Language show that adults actually learn initial vocabulary faster than children. It's just the pronunciation and grammar where we tend to struggle more. That makes so much sense when you look at how they approached vocabulary building here, connecting each new word to existing knowledge and real-world context.
Speaking of context, let's talk about how they handled the days of the week. Research shows that linking new vocabulary to emotional associations increases retention by up to 60%. So, connecting Friday with happy day and Sunday with rest day isn't just cute, it's scientifically sound. Oh wow, I had no idea there was actual data behind that approach. It reminds me of the way they handled food vocabulary too, linking it to sensory experiences.
Exactly. And neurolinguistic studies have shown that engaging multiple senses in language learning activates different areas of the brain, creating stronger neural pathways for retention. That's why descriptions like crunchy apple and soft bread are so effective.
Well, that certainly explains why immersion learning tends to be so successful. You're engaging all your senses naturally in context.
You know what's really fascinating? Recent studies from the University of Cambridge suggest that the repetition patterns used in this lesson, that hello, hello, hello approach, actually mirror the way our brains process and store new linguistic information.
The whole approach seems to be built on solid cognitive science. Even the way they structured the daily activity section to build narrative competence.
And get this, research from the Journal of Psycholinguistic Research shows that learning to narrate daily activities in a new language can reduce anxiety levels by up to 30% in language learners. It's about creating that sense of control and familiarity.
That's exactly why the scaffolding approach they use seems so effective, building from simple greetings to complete daily narratives.
Well, looking at global language learning statistics, about 1.5 billion people are currently learning English worldwide. That's roughly 1 in every 5 people on Earth trying to master these same fundamental building blocks.
The scale of that is just mind-boggling. How do these early learning patterns translate across different language families?
So here's what's interesting. Linguistic studies show that regardless of the target language, learners tend to acquire basic communicative functions in a similar sequence. It's like there's this universal roadmap for language acquisition.
The implications for global communication and cultural understanding are pretty profound when you think about it.
Absolutely fascinating. And recent research from the World Economic Forum suggests that multilingual individuals show enhanced cognitive flexibility and problem-solving abilities, even when they're just at the beginning stages of learning.
That really puts these basic language lessons in a whole new light. They're not just about communication, they're about rewiring our brains for better thinking.
And you know what really stands out in the data? Studies show that learners who practice basic vocabulary in context, like they did in this lesson, show a 45% higher retention rate compared to traditional memorization methods.
The whole approach seems designed to build confidence alongside competence, creating that safe space for learning you mentioned earlier.
Looking toward the future, experts predict that by 2025, the demand for language learning resources will increase by 200%, largely driven by global connectivity and remote work trends.
That really emphasizes the importance of getting these foundational teaching methods right.
Well, as we wrap up, isn't it remarkable to think that every successful language learner, from UN interpreters to international business leaders, started exactly here, with these same basic building blocks?
That's such a powerful reminder that even the most complex language skills grow from these simple human moments of connection.